What's a professional experience that's the most different from what you expected it to be?
Well, it has to be The Office because
where we're going, we don't need roads.
I mentioned to you before how much I absolutely love this. It's one of my all-time favorites of this year. Seriously, it's just brilliant. So seriously, thank you for taking the time.
I am so glad you said that. It means a lot to me. And thank you for having me back on.
Yeah, man, of course. There's a really great line in the film that really stuck with me. Nobody writes anything. All we do is translate. And I'm curious as to how much that describes your process, whether you're writing this or The Office. How much of your process of writing is just translation?
I think, to me, that is whenever I'm stuck, I realize, you know what, dude, you're trying too hard to say something and to be smart or funny or cool. Just kind of think and listen. And what do real people say and feel? And so, especially a movie like this, where I was so far out of my comfort zone, like exploring West Texas, I thought, well, I'm not going to make statements. I'm going to hear who these people really are. And it actually becomes a theme of the movie that we could all listen more, and it can be interesting and emotional and funny.
And you nailed it. I've been in Chicago for a decade, but I'm from a small Texas town. So I got to tell you, there's so many aspects of it that I was like, oh my God, that's absolutely right. But I've got to say, to your point, I love watching Ben kind of slowly start to realize that this project is sort of not what he thought it was going to be. I'm curious, what's the moment in your career where maybe you experienced something similar, whether it's a script you were starting to write, a role that you took on, an actor you got to work with? What's a professional experience that's the most different from what you expected it to be?
Well, it has to be The Office, because work on The Office, we thought it would be sort of the little cult classic of our career, where it's like, there was once this show for one season. It was a remake of the British Office, but it was actually really funny. And we really bonded over making a show that only a few people would ever see. And then now it's embraced as this, really popular show with so many different types of people, including young people who weren't even, barely alive when we started. I think that I ended up on a hit show is the biggest surprise, because we really thought we were on a cult show.
I'm embarrassed at the number of times I have watched it start to finish, just over and over and over. I know I'm not the only person that can say that, but it's an embarrassing number. My neighbor, one of my best friends, is watching it for the first time right now. So it's fun to kind of cathartically get text message updates on different things that are happening. I'm curious as to, with you doubling up as writer-director in this, it made me think back to your experience working with my favorite writer-director of all time, Quentin Tarantino. What did you learn from his ability to handle multiple roles, spin multiple plates that maybe you put to practice here?
Well, what I learned from Quentin, who is, by the way, my favorite filmmaker of all time too, was simply, in a way, it's translating again. It's, you have the movie in your head, and how do you get everyone who in my case is way more experienced and better than I am at costume, at cinematography, at acting. How do you communicate that in a way that excites them to do their best work? Quentin is a genius, but he's also inspiring. He gets you excited. And so I thought, well, even if my vision isn't, as genius as his in general, whose is, whatever my vision is, let's get everyone excited about it. And that's the only lesson I think anyone can learn from a genius like that.
Well, dude, I am excited about this. They're giving me the wrap. I've got 1,000 more questions I wish I could ask you, but seriously, dude, I'm such a fan. I've always been a fan, but this work, it makes me really excited to see what you're going to do in the future moving forward. Hopefully you write and direct many more projects, because I absolutely love this one.
I'm so honored that it speaks to you, and I hope I do get to do more. And thank you again.
Okay, well, hopefully we get to chat for him. So, dude, thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, see you, man.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.